Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today I'm down at Festival of Speed in Goodwood and I'm here today with Polestar. Now, some of you might remember that I did a video before shooting the Polestar. Well, after that shoot they invited me down to Festival of Speed to have a look around, look at some of the new cars that they're bringing out, some of the concept cars, and also later on I actually get to go up the course, up the hill. I actually get to do a hill climb. It is in Polestar and I'm super excited to be able to have that experience. The first time ever here and I actually get to go on the hill, which is pretty sick. This is a really cool stand. So they've got multiple stands here. They've got this one, which is kind of like the main stand. They've got a owners club, and then they've got another one, which is kind of where the prototype stuff is at the moment. Okay, so you just saw some B-roll of the Polestar O2. Now, this is a concept car at the moment. There is a prototype, it's not a working prototype, but the idea is if there's enough interest, then I believe they'll bring it out in the future. I think you'll agree, it looks quite sexy for an electric car. It's convertible, which is also a good talking point. I'm actually heading over to go up on the hill climb now, and I should be able to get some of the footage from it. I'm not sure how quick I'm going to be able to get the footage, but I'm going up in this thing here. That's the one I'm going up in, which is going to be pretty exciting. And yeah, I mean, I've been on a racetrack before, but I've never been up like a hill climb. So hill climb is basically like climbing a hill in a car. Very obvious, I know, but it's like super narrow. I'm quite excited. It's going to be fun. A little bit nervous because I don't know. I'm not a very good passenger, but like, who knows? We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna have a look around. I'll get some photos as well. Any of the content I do get today, of course, I'll show you at the end of the video. Oh, it's so sick.
What is that?
What is that? I don't know if I'd want to be in that.
No. We can take the helmets off as well now, sir.
Okay, so the hill climb was actually insane. I feel genuinely privileged to be able to have that experience. But now I'm going to have a kind of a little look around. So I thought I'd throw the POV on just to get some shots. There's this here, which is pretty sick. I've got the 1635 on. I've got a polarizer as well, so I can cut out the highlights. We're going to come over to the kind of corner here. I'm going to go to around 20 mil, because I think that's going to be perfect. And we're going to just change the polarizer to cut out those highlights. Kind of works. I mean, it's not optimum because obviously it's here in this kind of like stand instead of being able to take it out and shoot it. We're going to go f2.8. 160th per second. Oh, that's nice. Generally, I love that car. It looks looks incredible. What else can we get? Maybe we can get something of this. Okay. Look, guys, look at this. Look at the rear end of this. Actually, look at that. Is that just not like a fucking work of art? I don't even know how I'm going to capture that, but we will try. Maybe if I come over to this side, try and cut out the highlights, and also try and get rid of all the people. So 16 mil. 200th per second, f2.8, ISO, actually go ISO 100, and then 125th of a second. Now obviously I am here with Polestar, and the electric cars that they're doing are incredible, and I appreciate them bringing down, but as a car photographer I can't not look at the other things that are here because there's so much good here. Okay, so we're going to get some shots over here as well. We're going to go here first and get this P1, which is obviously got this wire around it, stop people touching it. But I think we can agree this thing is just insane. I know I'm all for electric cars, but I definitely wouldn't say no to this. I'm trying to think of like ways I can kind of tell you guys how you can get rid of this wire apart from obviously Photoshop. The thing is, when you come to these shows, you're always going to have these types of wires. So I'm going to shoot at 35mm at 2.8, so the aperture is nice and low. So it does kind of bokeh out the wire a little bit. And then I'm going to try and get the most plain background as possible. Okay, front end, we'll open out as well at 35mm. Maybe we can do maybe a rear quarter shot. That's quite nice. So again, it's obviously not optimum conditions, but it is what it is, and at shows like this you kind of work with what you got. This is pretty cool. That's really nice. Maybe we can get a detailed shot of this. So settings, I'm going to put it down to 160th of a second. We're going to go 24mm f2.8 ISO 100, and then I'm going to keep talking because I don't want to get the copyright from the music. Hear the shot a little bit. So we're going to punch in 35, maybe just past 35. We'll go to 30mm actually. We're going to go to 250 of a second, f2.8 ISO 100. Just waiting for. Okay, it's probably the cleanest we're going to get it right now. Take one a bit wider, and then we'll get some detailed ones as well. So for detailed shots here, I'm looking at like the front end, because look at this thing. It's actually incredible. And because this side's all blocked off, it means there's going to be no one on the left hand side of the frame, which is going to make it nice and clean. So 200th of a second, f2.8 ISO 100. I'm going to wait around for the F1 car to kind of clear, because there's the F1 car here, which looks incredible. There's also the McLaren up the other side, which I'll be showing you on Sunday, well, whenever the other video comes out. But one thing I'm kind of hoping to do this year is go to one of the F1s and actually have paddock access. Obviously I went to the one last year, but I didn't get any paddock access, so I'm hoping I could do that this year, but we'll see how we go. So for this shot, we'll go 200 per second, f2.8 ISO 100. We're at 16mm. Just going to cut out the highlights with the polarizer. And of course, we're going to get some nice detailed shots. We'll go with the rear spoiler for the first detailed shot, which is really nice. Again, location is not optimum, but it is what it is. Baby steps and all that. I'm going to come down a bit lower. I'm going to increase the ISO to get some of the detail in the shadows out. We're going to go 200th of a second, f2.8 ISO 200. But we'll work with what we got. Okay, again, I think these types of things are really good for you guys to kind of practice your car stuff. So if you are coming to a festival like this, what I'll do is I'm going to give you now some recommendations on lenses to bring, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the Polestar experience and the shots that I got as well. Before we look at the shots that I took for Polestar and talk a little bit about Polestar, I just want to give some tips on maybe some of the gear that you could take to a car meet or a car show, or if you're going to go and shoot a car. Now, typically, I'd like to take a wide range of lenses, but what I would say, if you only have one zoom lens, then take that lens, because you're going to get more kind of like a focal range to kind of work with when you're at a show. Now, with things like Goodwood, obviously there's a lot of stuff involved around going up and down the hill, and you can get some really cool panning shots, and for that you're going to want a zoom lens, because you're going to want anything probably past 70, 85mm and upwards. Optimum, I would probably take like a 70-200 if you want to be safe, or even a 100-400. I'm trying to get my hands on a 600mm actually for the next time I go, because I just want to get some like insanely compressed shots. But I would say typically if you have one lens and it's a zoom lens, take that lens. When it comes to prime lenses, I would say look at taking maybe a 50 or an 85, maybe even a 35, because personally I enjoy using 35mm. It's got this kind of like, especially on a full frame, it's got this really nice like wide, but also it's compressed enough at like 1.4 or even f2.8. It's just really nice. If you're talking about a 35mm, I have a video coming out soon where I'm giving away a f2 35mm from Sigma. So if you're interested in that, hit the subscribe button. Now, some of the photos that I took for Polestar, are on the screen. These are some of the photos, not all of them. These are some of the photos that I took for Polestar over the top of me talking. You can kind of see them on the screen. I just want to give a big shout out to Polestar because this was an unpaid shoot, so I didn't get paid for this. And the agreement that I have with Polestar is that the content that I'm creating here is going to get passed on to Polestar Australia to showcase what I can potentially do for Polestar Australia when I move there. So it's a mutually benefiting relationship at the moment. I haven't been paid by Polestar to be there, and the shoot that I did before, I said I didn't get paid for that, and that's because I didn't. The only thing that I get from this is I'm giving them my content so they can see what I'm capable of doing when I move out to Australia, and potentially I might have some work, or I can open up a conversation with Polestar when I get there. So this is theoretically an ad because they paid for my ticket to get in, but that's it. I got a free ticket to get in, and I didn't get anything extra apart from the hill climb, which can I just say it's always kind of not been big on my list, but I've always wanted to go and have like the full experience, and I feel like I've had that full experience being able to go up the hill. And if you've been to Goodwood, then you know it has, especially if you've grown up around cars and you've grown up in a family that talk about cars, or car, not obsessed, but a car family. If you know what I mean, you get what I mean, right? So I enjoyed it. It was great. I genuinely enjoyed it. And Polestar, I can't thank you enough for allowing me to go. I am going again, but that's for a different shoot. I'll talk about that when that happens, and I'll do a video about that as well. And I'm going to be getting different shots and potentially have that 600mm. But we'll talk about that when it happens. We're going to jump into the hashtag and see what you guys have been shooting over the last couple of days. Okay, we are on the most recents on the hashtag Optical Wander over on Instagram. If you want to get featured on this channel, you can put this in your caption when you upload to Instagram, and it gets uploaded here. We're on 424,000 posts, which is actually... every time I look at it, I can't believe it, because it's come so far from where I started, and... Yeah, I love it. It's great. It's amazing. Okay, this one here's a car one, so I wanted to click on it. I love the detailed shot. It's a Tesla, so I rate that. Let's keep going down. We're going to look for some car ones. This one here, love the vibe. It's got this like, it's kind of like this teal and orange kind of vibe, but it's not. It gives this like autumnal feel, so I like that a lot. Keep going down. Another one here. That is a very luminous pink. I respect the owner for going with that color. We're going to stick with the car theme. We'll go with this one here, which has got some nice depth to it, nice little set. And we'll go with this vintage one here. I love the colours on this. I love the old film grain as well. And you might have seen it in some of the photos in today's video. I'm really loving that grain at the moment. I don't know why. It's like Marmite, or whatever you want to call it. It's a love-hate relationship. Some people love it, some people hate it. I'm in that love it stage. I might hate it in the future, so I'm sorry if you hate it, but bear with me. It's a phase. Going down, we'll grab one or two more car ones. Out of these ones here, this one stands out for me. You've got something in the foreground, then you've got the car. Oh, look at that. What a beast. Let's do two more. We'll go with this one, and we'll go with this one here as well. Lovely little set. And that's one of the other things. Another key point I want to make out is that when you're shooting cars, I'm going to do a video about taking car photography anyway, and I'm going to do like a whole bunch of basic videos that I can just relate back to at this moment in time. I could be like, go and watch that video. Anyway, what I would say is take one wide, take one a little bit more focused in, take a punched in one, and then make sure you get those detailed shots. So making sure that you're getting the details that tell the kind of personality of the car. And I think that's really important when you're shooting cars. And sometimes it's hard too, because some cars don't have a lot of personality, especially if they're just normal road cars, like commercial cars. But a lot of supercars or hypercars or vintage cars have a lot of personality, so you want to try and search for that. Anyway, I'll talk about that when I do a video about it. With all that being said, create more, stress less. I hope you're all good. Go and enjoy your day, go shoot, and most of all, have fun.